So this is a normal boot up screen, right? So I hit the set button up here. Down here it says calibrate. You press and hold. All right, and then so this is the setup page. There's there's two pages, if you will, of setup information. And so that's going to be under RPM. And let's see, pulses per 2 revolutions. So I think that is going to be 4. And this is going to be 4. And then you hit save. That's look good. That's it. Then you hit back.
All right, can you set the idle on that?
There's
the 4 pulses now affect the idle?
well, all it affects is what is displayed. And when I pulled back the idle, I was seeing like 1400 RPMs, and it was like 700.
Yeah, it was low.
Right, so it was off by a factor of 2, so that's why I increased the number of pulses. But these 2 pages of calibration here, you have all of the calibration settings for the airplane. Like that. And then when we get to setting the gas tanks, we have tank 1 and tank 2. We don't have 3 and 4, but here, so actually let me go back. So tank 2 is that side, and it's showing that we have 4 gallons on board right now.
That's a little high.
Right? Well, we haven't really calibrated. I put in some basic numbers, but you see the sensor up here, and then you see AD value. That stands for analog to digital conversion. It's the computer is seeing 1292. That's the count of how much gas it thinks it's in the tank. When there's 0 in the tank, it reads 534, because I already set this. All right. And actually, so if we go back to the tank 1, which is dead empty right now, it's reading 535 right today. So it's basically, that's where the float is at the dead setting, and the computer reads that as 535. Since we've never put full tank in here, basically what we do, I put 5 gallons in here and I came up with this 1296 number. But I haven't put more. I haven't put 10, 15, 20, or 25, and these are the calibration points.
Steps.
So I just put some bogus numbers in to get me going. But this one right now, right? So it's reading 1292. It thinks 1391 is 5 gallons, right? And so it's correct. We have gas in the tank. We just haven't done our proper job of, whatever I pulled out of there, 3 or something like that, and put in there. That's what it's reading. So that's where this data lives, these calibration settings, right? Like someday we'll get to fuel flow. So right now, there's that red sensor up there, and this has a thing called a K factor. And this is basically how many pulses it counts for every gallon. So we're gonna go fly, and as we build our 40 hours, we'll fine tune that number. Like we'll top it off, we'll go fly, we'll come back, we'll top it off, and right, the truck will say we put in 12.3 gallons, but the screen says we burned 14 gallons. So then we'll take the difference between those two, and that percentage will adjust this number by that percentage. Right? If it's off by 10%, then we would take 68 off of that, or 68 onto it. And so that's what K factor is on that. So that's a calibration.
Yeah, pretty nice system.
Yeah, right. And so those are all things that we're going to mess with in terms of calibration